Daddy's back with a new bag of toys. Yeah, I am. Don't you know that what time it is, little boys and girls?
Oh, there goes half our audience.
Do you guys know what time it is?
There goes 12 people.
It's right now is matchups time. Week 8. That's what the week is, right? It's week 8.
Yeah, it's week 8.
Week 8. Week 8, baby. NFL, football, fantasy football. Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 2, Episode 34. Matchups, Part 2. So real quick before we get into anything, I just want to let you know this is some of the matchups breakdowns. Basically, I said it in the last podcast too, is we don't really explain it, but we do. I noticed there's not really anybody else goes through and breaks down every single player, but we do that here. And we break it down every game, anybody that is able to play or could play. Yeah, we'll let you know what's going on with them.
Or we at least say their name for you guys.
Yeah. Or
like, oh, dude,
we're like, that's a guy.
That's a guy.
Hey, get him off your team. So real quick before we start, I just want to let you know these are games we're covering in this one, and then if you don't hear your game, they're going to be in the previous episode 33. Okay, so we're going to go over the Houston-Oakland game, the Niners-Carolina Panthers game, the Colts-Denver Broncos game, the Patriots-Cleveland Browns game, the Packers-Kansas City Chiefs game, and the Pittsburgh Miami Dolphins.
Plus 625 Miami moneyline.
Stop, dude. If I go down there and spend all this money and fucking we lose, dude, I'm
gonna fucking be sending you DMs all night.
Oh yeah, that's cool, dude. Super chill.
Dude, I'll be sliding those DMs all night, dude. When you're out there,
yeah. That's super horny. Okay, so yeah, if you didn't hear the game you're trying to hear us cover, go check out episode 33. All that should be in there. The first 8 games, all the early games basically for Sunday. Now, before we start, also, I just want to let you know we appreciate you guys who do this for us. If you leave us 5 stars in a review on the Apple Podcast app, we really, really appreciate you. It does a lot. It just helps us, helps us move around. Helps us move around on the podcast world.
The podcast SEO.
The podcast search engine optimization.
There you
go. SEO. That's what that stands for. It's just science. Now, what else? Oh, if you want to also support the podcast, go check out the Thrive Fantasy app. It's a daily fantasy app. You basically bet over-unders, prop bets, at like a certain amount per week. If you get the most, you get paid out real cash money. Now, if you put in $10 into the Thrive Fantasy app and use promo code AverageBros during sign up, they will credit you another $10 free. Dude, you know what's better than free? Nothing. Nothing's better than free, because free is the shit. I like free shit. Do you like free stuff?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody doesn't like free stuff.
You know what you should do? You should just ask your buddy to borrow $10. Put it on Thrive. Give him his $10 back.
Go into your mom's.
When you're rich like me and Mike, be like, hey, here's your investment return. Give him $20.
Yeah, there you go.
Next thing you know, you're flipping houses.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, dude, we were talking about in the last podcast, we're going to buy the whole neighborhood. We're going to start a podcast at every house.
Average Bros.
Dude, Tifty, dude.
It's going to be a bright-ass neighborhood.
Yeah, we're going to paint them all Average Bros colors. It's going to look like the goddamn McDonald's parking lot in here.
What is it? The Google satellite's going to be like, dude, who the fuck built the McDonald neighborhood over there?
Yeah, Ronald McDonald on every corner.
Nice.
So, yeah, that being said, let's just get into it. Is there anything you want to add on?
Just go to the YouTube if you can, subscribe.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Devin. He was at work with him right now, and he was just like, he's like, can I subscribe to you guys? I was like, yeah, for sure. And he pulled it up on his phone, and it literally took him 2 seconds to subscribe.
Yeah, so do it.
I fuck with Devin.
So just go Average Bros.
Mad
Fantasy
love,
Football.
Appreciation. Dude, yeah, it doesn't take that long, I guess. If you're already logged in, I guess it doesn't take that long to... I didn't realize that. You just go to the page, Average Bros Fantasy Football on YouTube.
It's the same thing as like Instagram.
And you hit the button.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Actually, if you subscribe, hit the bell notification too, so you'll get notified.
Yeah.
Also.
I mean, we're out here. We're trying to help you guys out. We're trying to do our best to
give you the
help
best
you guys,
advice.
Info and help you guys win your league. So just try to, reciprocate that energy back to us. And if you could just, like I said, write a review, subscribe on the YouTube channel.
Anything helps.
Anything would be much appreciated.
Perfect.
Mucho.
I love it. All right, so let's just get right into it. Is there any news you want to touch on, Tyler? Because we touched on some stuff earlier,
We
but
touched on a good amount of things.
yeah.
For sure.
All right, let's get right into it. We got for the first game, we got Houston in Houston. Their favorite 6.5 against the Oakland John Gruden's 51.5 over under. It's pretty high over under.
I feel like that's kind of a low line for Houston against Oakland.
Like they should be favored by more.
Yeah, like the Lions are favored by the same, and they're playing like the Jets. It's like I feel like Houston's better than the Lions. Oakland's maybe on par with the Jets. I'm just saying like over under wise.
How much is? Oh, it's the same
Oh,
as
it's
what
the
you're
Giants,
saying.
but yeah, as I'm saying, it's kind of like similar teams, and I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of. I feel like Oakland will surprises people sometimes. Surprise.
So John Gruden's gonna be dressed up as Chucky in this matchup.
Is he?
Yeah,
He
that's his
told
nickname.
you?
You know that? You ever seen they hold up the Chucky dolls?
Oh no.
You never seen that? That's why they.
I'm
that's
sure
why they
I have,
He looks
but
like Chucky.
I'm sure I have, and I just didn't make the correlation.
You've seen him in the games.
Okay, that's horny, dude. Chucky is like probably the horniest scary movie character. Everybody
I mean,
says.
he gets it in. Without,
Dude, Chucky terrified me as a kid.
Really?
still
Oh,
terrifies me.
dude, yeah, terrified me. But now it's like as you're older, you think like, dude, if a doll was coming out with a knife, I'm
Just-
fucking Sebastian Janikowski'ing the fuck out of that doll. And I'm kicking the fuck out of that doll.
Great reference, by
I'm
the
pulling
way.
that $150 Amazon sword and I'm chopping it.
Yeah, that's right. Like, dude,
So I
this
have
little
it.
doll's coming at me. Like,
Yours, my sword versus your knife.
Yeah, I used to think that too, because I never really watched them until I got older, and I always thought the same thing too. I'll fuck that doll up.
I had over under 1,000 nightmares. I probably had 1,000 over in my lifetime.
Chucky?
Yeah, I swear to God, I'm not even joking.
Of Chucky?
It was at least like twice a week.
Maybe
like 10
this
years.
was like a
Do the
Revelis
math.
household thing.
50 times 2 times 10.
Although
I don't know, dude. When you're like a younger kid, you get this little doll running around killing everyone, and I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not. I understand it. I mean, Mummy scared me when I was little.
What a pussy.
What a pussy.
I mean,
bro.
I was
What
very
is-
small.
What are they gonna hit you with toilet paper?
You're scared of a doll, dude. You're talking shit,
At least he's got a knife.
bro. Okay, Tyler, that was not that funny. Dial it back. Jesus fuck, dude.
We're in the Halloween spirit this episode, boys.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm a Panera Bread employee. That's what I'm. For
That's your
Halloween.
costume. This is all right. Houston at Houston. Start at the quarterback position. I mean, Deshaun Watson could be the QB1 this week against Oakland.
Yeah. I mean, we saw what Rodgers did to that team last week.
Yeah, and we were like, don't start Rodgers.
Yeah,
Sorry. Sometimes you
I mean,
miss.
I think
Well,
we were thinking that there was going to be no MVS, no Geronimo Allison.
Yeah,
I mean,
but then you got to look at it as well. That's also what the stats of last week. But Raiders' defense is second worst. They're they're allowing 289 yards per game.
You sound like you have something on your page right now.
Yeah, I actually took notes today. You're welcome, boys.
I like it.
I'm fucking here.
Yeah,
dude.
Deshaun Whitson, pretty much a no-brainer here. We can go over to the running back position. You got Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson. I'm trying to. What did Carlos Hyde do last week? How was the carry totals instead? Pretty much this.
yeah,
par for the
it's
course,
kind of
right?
been 60-40 back and forth, depending on the game script. I think last week it was 60-40 in favor of Duke because they were chasing, I want to say. But this game is looking like a Carlos Hyde game script. I mean, they're at home. They're minus 6.5. So, Vegas has got them favored to win. They should be in control. Like I said, we saw what Rodgers did to this Oakland defense. Even coming off a bye, they had extra time to prepare for Rodgers and the Packers, and they just got shredded. So, I mean, Deshaun Watson, he's actually was my preseason MVP. So I think he comes out and just kind of lights it up. And then probably just a good game script for Carlos Hyde is probably what I'm just trying to get to.
I agree on that. Everything you said. Duke Johnson. You playing him in this matchup with the we kind of said the game script should be heavily in their favor. Maybe some room for him to get some more work in this one.
It's just crazy because his yards per carry is really good, and his yards after contact or his elusive rating is really good. He's just not getting the volume as much as Carlos Hyde is. We've already seen Carlos Hyde, double-digit carries pretty much every game, and then a couple games where he's actually gotten 20 or more carries. He's not getting that volume. He's kind of a desperation play, in my opinion. If you need him and you're in a pinch, Like, okay, throw him in there. He's probably better than anyone you're going to grab off the waiver wire right now. But if I don't have to start him, I'm probably not starting him.
Yeah, I mean, he's that pinch style running back. It is crazy because it's like he's been highly. It's way more efficient on a per touch basis than Carlos Hyde has. He's just never, even in like Cleveland, he just never got a full workload, and he was still highly efficient there. It's kind of, I don't know what the deal is with the practice, or maybe he's always getting dinged up if they play him too much, or I don't know. There's got to be something to it, because for him to be this efficient year in and year out from team to team and never get like, I don't think he's ever averaged over 10 yards per carry with the team he's played with. Even right now, it's like 6, 9, 5, 7, but at least 30 yards in every one of those games.
Yeah,
and he's been about 2 catches for 20 yards, so he's getting you a 10 like yards per catch too, and like a high yards per carry. I don't. It's kind of weird with him. He's just a weird player where it's like you see efficiency off the charts year after year, but he just never gets like, a decent workload. Kind of like off topic, but on topic with him a little bit.
No,
it's just like
it's
something where it's like, kind of what's up with that.
Maybe he's like Mr. Steal Your Girl. You know what I mean? Mr. Cuff Your Chick. Maybe
he lacks that stuff that makes you a man.
Extends?
What? What
that
do you
stuff
think he
where it
likes?
makes you like have an ego and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, probably.
Testosterone.
Probably missing all that testosterone, bro.
I said extends.
He said extends.
Extends, of course.
All
Of course,
good.
it's extends.
Would you go with like? And then, 'cause this is kind of. Would you go with like Duke Johnson or like Jordan Howard or Frank Gore? Would you start him any of those two guys?
I'm probably going. Let's see. Frank Gore's at. Ooh, that's a tough matchup. Frank Gore from Philly.
Those two teams play each other.
That's pretty tough right there. The only thing I can say is Jordan Howard and Frank Gore probably have the touchdown upside of falling into the end zone if they get close. Maybe the offense drives, they get close within the 5-yard line, they fall into the end zone. If Duke Johnson doesn't, when they get close, it's the Carlos Hyde show there. So, and if they're not behind, they don't need to throw the ball as much. We've kind of noticed, Watson doesn't really target the running backs as much either. So yeah, no.
Right.
Desperation play.
I agree with you. If anything happens to Hyde, though, I mean, he could maybe.
For sure. Yeah.
He's
either one. If either one of those guys get hurt, the other one value instantly skyrockets.
Yeah. Wide receiver position. I mean, you're starting DeAndre Hopkins. Will Fuller's out for a few weeks, so if he's in your lineup, take him out of there. So then we move over to Kiki Cutie and Kenny Stills. Kenny Stills was the snap leader last week with giant rocket ship taking off for 4 catches for 100+ yards last week.
Yeah.
Out of those two, I'm personally leaning Stills. The big playability, the snap percentage. I'm even considering moving him as an upside play in one of my leagues because I had Terry McLaurin and then he got Dwayne Haskins at halftime. So I'm just kind of maybe shooting for upside. But he's Will Fuller. We talked about the air yards, the deep targets. He's essentially taking that role, and he's a very similar type of player. I hate to say that player X is the same as player Y because every player is different. But the way his style of play is very similar to Will Fuller, and he can play that role to a pretty similar extent that Will Fuller did.
Yeah, no, I love Kenny Stills this week. If he's on your waiver wire and you need to throw someone in there, honestly, I think maybe at least top 30, right?
Yeah,
top 24.
I think with his range of outcomes, with his upside, his floor, he could only see 4 targets and get 2 catches for 25 yards. That's in his range of outcomes.
Yeah.
But the other range of outcome is 5-6 catches, 100+ yards, and a touchdown or 2. So you got to figure him as a top 30 play because just of the upside he offers that a lot of players don't offer. And I mean, you can say, oh, well, he did it one week when Will Fuller got hurt. He actually did it in Miami multiple times where he would have those big splash games. So it's not like it's a 1 week thing. He's done it, over the course of his career.
Yeah. I mean, once this trade went down, I know we've touched on it a couple times in previous episodes, but I think they kind of made this trade for Kenny Stills. Obviously, they got Laramie Tunsil, the left tackle, in the trade with the Dolphins, but I think they wanted Kenny Stills as well because they do know that he just can't seem to stay healthy. And even Kiki QD, he seems to be getting banged up left and right. He hasn't been healthy this season or even last season either. So, and I think we touched on it that grab Kenny Stills and hold on him. I mean, I guess it's been a long time coming, but I think we're going to see what Kenny Stills is really about going forward, with Deshaun Watson, because I think he is just Will Fuller in a sense. Exactly. You literally just plug and play him in there. I think he had 2 catches of 40+ yards last week. I mean, he's that deep threat home run guy, and it's Deshaun Watson and then Kenny Stills. There's no tight end really, and I mean the running backs aren't really getting targeted that much. So
but
hopefully we have a tight end because we need him this week.
I was gonna say Darren Fells has as many touchdowns as Will Fuller.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
as many touchdowns
the touchdown upside, but maybe in the target share area is maybe what I'm referring to, honestly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just ripped a scab off and it's pulled my hairs out.
But no, I love Kenny Stills. If he's out there, go grab him. I mean, you don't know how long Will Fuller's going to be out, and he is the home run guy. We've seen it in Miami plenty of times. He's the home run guy
for sure.
Yeah, he's about to bury these bitches. Darren Fells, I guess we could touch on him real quick. He's kind of in that touchdown upside due to the matchup. Kind of like I said to Mike, like you weren't here last episode, but I was like, dude, I started Eric Ebron, and someone would have been like, good start. I would have been like, nah, it was a fucking lucky start. It was like,
it was very
like straight up, I would have
start,
admitted it. It's like I was just looking for a matchup that could score a lot of points, and that the possibility that the tight end is raised that he scores a touchdown in that matchup, and that's what I did when I started Eric Ebron. And I think that's a similar scenario here. Matchup where they should throw a lot of touchdowns, a lot of points. So the possibility of him scoring a touchdown is raised in this matchup.
for sure, 100%.
And then Texans defense against Oakland. Kind of like a middling range start. Derek Carr had a lot of turnovers and sacks this year. I know they haven't played well, but I don't feel like he hasn't been.
Yeah, he hasn't been terrible because he's like captain checkdown.
Yeah, they don't have time to sack him.
Both these, I looked up their defensive stuff before. Both their defenses, they're like the same. They're pretty good against the run and pretty bad against pass.
Yeah,
they're both like almost exactly in the same tier.
Yeah, so
they're fourth. They allow the fourth least amount of yards per game against the run, but then they're the fourth most against the pass.
There you go. I like your notes, Mike.
Just science, dude. It's like,
here's the thing, dude. You're just getting to your midseason form.
Yeah,
you're just hitting your stride,
dude.
You're like Keenan Allen most years, where it's like those first 6 weeks, bro. You're just getting ready to go. Now you're about to go off.
Yeah, I'm like how Russell Wilson and the Seahawks usually are.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, like Panera Bread Mike, way better than Suns
Is it
Mike.
the hat?
Suns Mike, it's the hat, bro.
It's the hat, dude.
Because this guy, you eating clean, thinking clean. You're feeling good.
I mean,
DMT at Pups,
I ate
bro.
McDonald's today, but
What else
sure.
is new?
We get McDonald's sponsored the podcast. Mike eats there enough. We'll even out.
Yeah.
What are we gonna get asked to sponsor the podcast? Because he eats there often too.
The butt I like it. All right, Houston's defense kind of just a middle of the road play.
Yeah.
We can move on to the Oakland side. Derek Carr. I mean, I'd only be considering him in 2 quarterback leagues because, we just touched on the Houston's tough against the run, pretty bad against the pass. I think Tyrell Williams is supposed to be back, which kind of helps him out.
Yeah.
If Josh Jacobs is out too, that's a scenario where that could also help him out throwing the ball as well because they might, if there's no Jacobs, the backs there are kind of more scat back types. So it's like he's going to have to, throw a little bit more than normal. Game script should be negative. So I don't mind it in the 2 quarterback league where he gets a lot of garbage time yardage and, maybe gets you a decent game.
Yeah, two quarterback league, that's it.
Yeah. The running back position, you got to watch with Josh Jacobs. I mean, he has an injury that popped up. They were off a bye. No, they weren't off bye week last week, were they?
It's a shoulder injury. So what I've kind of heard or saw was it's a AC joint injury. And actually, I personally have suffered an AC joint sprain. I've had I think it was the grade 3, which is the worst one and probably the worst pain I've ever felt in my life.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's just it's hard to move your arm. You can't you lose all that motion. Now, obviously, I'm better. I can do all kinds of stuff. But at that moment, terrible for like a month. So just depending on the grade sprain. Did I say that right? Grade?
I just remember being
grade of sprain.
I remember Tyler being in the hospital and he's like, his shoulder's like sticking out and he's like, I've been fucking sitting here for a fucking hour. Could someone get me in the goddamn back? He's like screaming at all the nurses.
Dude, yeah, because my fucking bone was like popping out.
He's like, your wheelchair and homie McFly over here. And it's not even fucking hurting. His head's like hanging off.
Because AC joint sprain. If you don't know what it is, an AC, and I do know this.
We actually know this.
Not the meniscus tear. I actually know this personally. So the AC joint sprain is the AC joint is the joint between your collarbone and your shoulder. It's like a little ligament or something like that attaches your collarbone to your shoulder socket area. So basically, those ligaments, or I think that's what's called ligaments, they tear, and your collarbone is no longer attached to that shoulder socket area. So your shoulder is intact. You can still move your shoulder, you can do all these things, but your collarbone is no longer attached to your shoulder area. Yeah. So it's just depending on the grade. Obviously,
did you have surgery?
You can have surgery, but for me personally, when I went to the doctor, he told me I could have surgery, but I'm gonna have to go through a rigorous or whatever. Anyways, it would be an extensive rehab process, and it probably wasn't worth it. And honestly, like it feels fine. I can do pretty much anything with my shoulder now.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that meantime though, it hurt like a bitch, and I couldn't imagine trying to play with it. So it's kind of just a pain threshold thing with him. I guess last game, John Gruden actually came out and said they just like shot him up with something and threw him back in the game. So
they probably shot him with what's that called?
Cortisone shot.
Yeah,
extends.
Have you ever gotten? I got a cortisone on my shoulder before.
Really?
Yeah. It hurts. Have you ever seen the needle they pull out for that?
No, but I've heard it's massive.
Oh, dude, it's fucking huge, and it's like hella thick. They brought that out. I'm like,
needles. What are we talking about?
Yeah, the shit was thick, baby. Yeah, I mean, he didn't practice until Friday.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the grade on it because I've had a grade 1. I dove for a ball and landed on my shoulder hard, and it's like I could play through it, but if I tapped like this, it'd be like, oh. Or even when I was lifting, I felt a lot of pressure.
Imagine getting hit by 300 plus guys.
Like, if you take a helmet to the shoulder, even with the grade what I had, I would probably
honestly.
Be like
I would say in this
too.
Because Houston's defense is pretty good against the run. I would just like kind of plan on not having him go.
If it's a grade 2, then that's different. Or if it's in between that 1 and 2, it's a different number. I can't find anything on the severity of it.
Ultimately, in the day, it's a pain threshold thing. Can he withstand the pain? I guess if they're gonna just like jack him up with some painkillers, then he can go out there and play. But afterwards, he's gonna be hurting like a motherfucker. That's
he is at risk to further separate it too if he does get hit the wrong way.
For sure, or he falls on it wrong. That's how mine happened. I fell on it wrong in the amount of weight going down and the force going down is what caused it.
Yeah, if you have Josh Jacobs, kind of what that said, it is a pain tolerance thing, but there is a possibility where this game gets out of hand and he's feeling that and they take him out. So. While I think he's still a good play because we've seen him, be a solid play week after week, no matter the matchup. You do have to, if you have 3 solid options and you're on that tiebreaker fence. Is do I start Josh Jacobs or do I start I'm trying to think of someone in that range.
David Montgomery.
Definitely starting Josh Jacobs.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying. Ugh.
Okay, I mean, I'm trying to think
like an Eckler or like a Tevin Coleman.
Yeah,
sure,
Tevin
Coleman.
Like Tevin Coleman, that's a good example. There we go. That would be my tiebreaker. It's like I know Tevin Coleman's healthy, he's going to play. What if Josh Jacobs gets some stingers and they're down in this and they take him out? That would be my tiebreaker decision.
For sure,
with that. Darren Waller, I mean, you're starting him. Tyrell Williams, if he's out there, you play him in this matchup.
If he's out there, I'm starting Tyrell Williams.
I think Tyrell Williams will play this week.
Yeah, he's been practicing, right?
Yeah, he's limited, but yeah.
He scored a touchdown in every game.
Super.
Keep it going, bro.
It's super horny.
Raiders defense.
Nah.
Get on to that next matchup.
All right, now we got the San Francisco 49ers, still undefeated. They fucking barely beat the Redskins last week. Against the Carolina Panthers. It's in San Francisco. San Francisco's favored by 5.5. The over-under is 42.5 points. What do you boys think? Start on San Francisco's side.
Quarterback position. I know that he just got Manny Sanders, which is going to help him out, but this isn't he's still incorporating to the offense. It's a run-heavy offense. I see this being more of a defensive game. I mean, I could always be wrong, but you look at the over/under 42 points, 2 defenses that apply a lot of pressure, good D lines. I see this kind of being more of a run-heavy game script in this one at least. And Carolina has a good secondary, and I don't see it being like a passing shootout. So I'm probably shying away from Jimmy G. I'd actually like to say 2 quarterbacks league. I'd probably go Derek Carr over Jimmy G, and that's kind of how I've got him lower than in my rankings than probably than some other people.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, because Carr's probably going to be chasing, and this, like you said, 42-point over/under, tough game. I mean, the Niners are the run-heaviest team in the NFL right now. Yeah. So I mean,
they throw the ball.
I get it. Yeah, they traded for Manny Sanders, and I honestly, if I had Manny Sanders, I'm dialing him up. I'm throwing him in there because there's reports saying that the Broncos didn't want to trade him yet, but the Niners were like, we want him. We want him for this week, and I think. They got their guy, and you know me more than anyone. If you go out and get a guy, you go out and sign a guy. I really feel like you're going to incorporate that person into the offense. So yeah, I love Manny Sanders, and if you can go get Manny Sanders on the low, I would for sure love to go get him on the low if you can, because I mean, Marquise Goodwin's just kind of a speedster. I mean, Deebo Samuel's a rookie, but I think he's banged up. Jalen Hurd, another rookie, banged up. Dante Pettis just hasn't really panned out.
And I think he's even questionable.
Yeah, we've seen Manny Sanders. You know, that was the man crush last year, Manny Sanders. We've seen him get it done. And I was actually reading something earlier today talking about how in Shanahan's offense, you know, when Pierre Garçon was there, he was a target monster, and you know, Manny Sanders is, you know, just as good, if not even better, than a Pierre Garçon.
Yeah, and also, do you guys know what's going on with Marquise? Because it's saying that he didn't practice all week, and it says it's not injury related. I know he had some issues with like he had like a kid thing. I don't know. So like that could be another reason
like a
why.
Stepdad or what? This is your area of
your
expertise,
expertise.
dude. Yeah.
I grow one mustache.
Yeah, I agree with what Tyler said too. I was kind of more on the. I'll make this fast. I was more on like I just think it's a lateral move at first, but then as I started thinking about it more and more, you know, he said Kyle Shanahan's offense, he does feature a number one wide receiver. You know, Julio Jones dating back to when he was Julio Jones was always there. But that's when Julio Jones first became, you know,
back in Atlanta,
who he was.
When he was there.
Pierre Garçon. The thing too is he's been trying to get a number one there. I feel like he tried to make Dante Pettis a number one. He's just not there yet. He was trying to get Odell Beckham. He was the offseason. There was rumors nonstop that he wanted Odell Beckham. So it seems like he wants that number one receiver for his offense.
Yeah.
So I'm actually like I was kind of thinking he's more of a 3-2, and I'm kind of on the fence where I think he's going to be a solid 2 going forward.
Yeah.
The running back position. I mean, you could start both Breida and Coleman in this matchup.
Yeah, Coleman probably like a RB2, and then Breida's kind of like a flex guy. Just monitor Breida because I know he left.
Yeah. He's
week.
been on the injury report a little bit, but as of right now, it looks like he's playing.
But that's classic Breida for you right there. He gets hurt and then he comes back from the dead out of nowhere. So
Raheem Mostert's also questionable.
I'm not playing Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it adds to the like
For sure, 100%.
it takes away from the 17 running backs that they have.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, and then they lost that one guy, that other running back who's on IR.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
And we did say Kyle Shanahan like 5 times too.
Oh, I'd have it off, dude. I just
All
fucked
right, anyways,
it up, bro.
George Kittle, you're starting him. You know, been a little bit of a down year, but he's still a top 5 tight end.
Kittle? Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Down
Niners defense. I like the defense.
I'm
Dial
down.
them up.
At home, yeah.
At home, the Panthers could be without potentially 2 or 3 linemen.
Yeah.
So that's worrisome. I guess we could just jump straight into the other side. You're not really starting Kyle Allen, but that's worrisome if Kyle Allen's without 2 or 3 of his starting linemen, because that's going to make it a difficult day for 1 DJ Moore and 2 Curtis Samuel. So it's a tough matchup for the as it is. Niners are the number 1 pass defense as far as yardage goes, and in a matchup with that at home with potential linemen banged up or missing, I'm probably benching DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel in this matchup.
Yeah, they'd be like wide receiver 3 flex guys for me. Just a tough matchup. I mean, obviously, in any given week, players can break off a big game, but matchup wise, yeah, I don't like it right here.
Yeah, if I'm starting one of those guys, I'm leaning on the DJ Moore side of it, because he is he's more geared towards some of the intermediate routes, a little bit underneath stuff, get the ball out quicker, which he might have to do. And Curtis Samuel is like the air yard guy we've talked about. He's deep air yards, deep plays. So I'm probably, if I have to start one, leaning DJ Moore, who's had the very high target volume as it's been. So that's the one I'm starting there. Christian McCaffrey, yeah, you already know.
It's like obvious.
Yeah.
One thing I'm going to say, just don't expect a monster game from McCaffrey, because never mind, I'm thinking about a totally different game. I'm thinking about a totally different game. My bad.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, McCaffrey, said it and forget it.
Where are we at? Greg Olsen, tight end. Is he?
He's always going to be a top 10 tight end, even if he's number 10 on the week. I think, we've kind of seen him when he's healthy. He still is kind of a Mr. Reliable kind of guy here, and
I think it also goes to what we always talk about. You got Kyle Allen throwing the ball. I'm throwing it to my big guy.
Wait, who?
Hey, big guy.
Who?
What are you, motherfucking Al?
Who you talking about? Dude, I got too many drops now.
All right, well, you're sitting there drawing dicks on the screen. Maybe if you weren't drawing dicks, you'd be able to get your drops right.
No, because how about the camera and stopped recording, so I got to fucking press record again, huh? How about I got 8 jobs over here?
Whatever, Turbo will make 8 jobs.
Fucking
Dude, you're doing
pussy.
a great job.
Thank you.
Oh, what? Fuck, that's 9 jobs now. Damn.
Damn. All right, Carolina's defense.
I'm not mad at it. Yeah, 42-point over-under. This is probably, I mean, you're looking at the over-under, 2 good defenses, 2 offenses that
I think
I mean,
Carolina might
they're
lead
not
the league
blowing
in
you out the water with these offenses here. So yeah, I'm not mad at it. Carolina's defense has been low key really good this year.
Yeah, they might lead the league in sacks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I think I guess it's because
I like Carolina plus 5.5 actually in this one,
Yeah.
just kind of off the top of my head.
that's what I was thinking too. I even like the money line a little bit.
Ooh, plus 205, huh? Okay.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's not worth it. I would rather take the points, but because that's not good enough payout.
I mean, dude, the Niners are going to lose eventually. No one goes undefeated unless you're the 72 Dolphins. But, anyways, all right. So we got the next matchup here. We got the Broncos are at Indianapolis.
We're about to be the first team to ever be 17 and 0 and own 16.
Probably. Anyways, all right. So we got the Broncos going to Indianapolis, going to play the Colts. The Colts are minus 5.5. Another low over under 42.5. Let's start on the Denver side of the ball here.
Okay.
Ooh, switching it up.
Switching it up. So Denver
tag
side of the
us in.
ball. I mean, Joe Flacco,
No.
gross. And then I guess these running backs here. What's your feeling on these running backs here? You know, Lindsey and Freeman, because this is a full blown like running back by committee. It's like a 50-50 split. I think last week Freeman was kind of the guy. In a good matchup, actually, you know, Freeman was the guy who had a good game, and Lindsey was the guy who disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, you could start them both. To me, it's almost like Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida light. Where it's like they're both playable options. They're both going to get a good amount of workloads, pretty decent floors on both ends. I don't think any of them have really had a dud game I could think of offhead. You know, I was looking at maybe trying to trade for, you know, maybe someone like Royce Freeman because I'm kind of low and I have no running back to start this week. But I just need someone I can know is going to get out there and get touches and get points and offer some touchdown upside. So I think they're both RB2, RB3 plays. Any given week, the other one's going to score, or both of them could score. I don't think it can happen. Just saying. Yeah. But yeah, kind of RB2, 3 guys, like flex range.
Yeah. I mean, in half-point PPR leagues, they're both ranked in the top 24. So you're looking at, if you're in a 12-man league, those are both like low-end RB2s in a sense.
That's what I'm saying. They're both like 2 3s, and they both have a very high floor. It's like whoever gets in the end zone, though, is going to be more on the top 15 side of the other one that doesn't score that week. But they're pretty consistent from both ends. Like, I'd almost say offhead, they probably both are like 7 points a week at least as a floor.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one thing why I didn't like Lindsey at his it's not to say I don't like Lindsey. I just didn't like him at his draft price because I feel like he was getting overhyped for what he did last year with Royce Freeman being out for as long as he did and being banged up and injured. But just some crazy numbers right here on Royce Freeman. But 4 or more catches in 5 of the 7 games. I mean, that's, you know, when you think of Lindsey, you think like, okay, maybe Royce Freeman's the bruiser back and Lindsey's kind of the pass catching kind of guy. But I mean, no, Royce Freeman is getting incorporated into the passing game just as much, if not even more, than Phillip Lindsey here. Do you think with Manny Sanders being shipped off to San Francisco, obviously that makes Cortland Sutton the number 1 there, but do you think maybe these running backs get a little bit more incorporated? Do you think Noah, my boy, the Messiah, Andre Navarro, his boy Noah Kant? Do you think Noah Kant gets involved more? I mean, what are you thinking here? Because these targets got to go somewhere. Deshaun Hamilton.
I was going to say, I think it's more, they go towards a little bit more towards Deshaun Hamilton and a little bit along the lines of that. I don't know if it changes too much to the running backs. To me, it's if Deshaun Hamilton's there and if you got a deeper bench, add him. I mean, we saw last year down the stretch, back in 2018 when Sanders went down. Right after Sanders went down, targets 9, 12, 9, 8. This is with Cortland Sutton on the field too, so it's. Yeah. I think He's an interested ad if you need a receiver and you're deep league because we've seen these guys kind of 1-2 punch it, and I think they kind of go to Deshaun Hamilton. That's kind of my opinion with him, and I think
what's his snap percentage?
Let's see. I can pull it up right now. Snap percentage. Denver. He's been in the 60s range, like above, pretty much on average, real quick math, probably about 60-something%. So now you got to figure he's going to jump up to, Manny Sanders, 89, 79, 80, 88. He got hurt that one week.
Looking at like 75, 80%. Probably. Yeah. You would think. Yeah. You would think, right?
Yeah. But a few of those targets could go that way. But I think I think Deshaun Hamilton will be the beneficiary.
You guys are struggling with words today.
Dude, don't talk to us about struggling on words. Panera Bread.
Why? Just because I work at Panera Bread doesn't mean my vocabulary is amazing.
Denver's defense.
I like it. Yeah, you like it? I don't like Denver's defense.
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
they're terrible. I wouldn't. Yeah, we were actually. Anthony were in a league and we were like, oh, Denver, they've been picking up lately, but it's like no, they had one good game and it's been terrible.
Yeah.
Besides that, they're droppable.
I think they've been okay on like the points per game basis, but they've done like nothing as far as sacks,
Yeah.
picks, that type of stuff.
I mean, Cortland Sutton, just kind of touching him real quick. I mean, I feel like you're gonna be dialing him up. I feel like almost now he's almost like one of those players in terms of the target share he's probably gonna receive. I think you probably got to throw him in your lineup every week, at least as a wide receiver too, the flex kind of guy.
Yeah,
almost each and every week now.
Yeah,
and he's low key been performing
he's
really
been
good.
solid. He's a top 12 in I think every format.
Yeah, I think he's gotten 7 or more targets in every single game as well too.
There's one thing I do
that.
wonder with him. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off towards the end. Does he get a little bit of that Juju effect, where it's like now that Sanders is gone and teams focus to take him away? Does his efficiency on those targets come down a little bit? I think he's still going to see that target volume, so he's safe. That's kind of like I have 2 small red flags with him. Does that Juju effect come into effect a little bit, where it's a young receiver still developing? You've seen him when he has another one, he can do these things, but when he's the actual one, does that change? And then 2, if the Broncos keep losing, do they give? This is a little bit more futuristic. Do they give Drew Lock, or right? He's the quarterback they drafted or whatever.
Yeah.
Do they give Drew Lock a shot down the road? And that's kind of why my long-term thing on Sutton is I don't know if I'm acquiring him because of that.
No, I like Cortland Sutton. I honestly, I think it just in my opinion, I think now that Manny Sanders isn't there, I think he's pretty much one of those guys you just throw in every single week. I mean, Flacco's a good quarterback, savvy veteran. Not willing. I mean, he is willing to like throw it up deep to the guy. I like Cortland Sutton.
I like him too, but I'm saying those are some things why it's
I
agree
100%.
I was gonna try and trade for him.
You could almost double him now, and kind of eliminate. Example, if he's playing the Patriots would just double him and eliminate him off the board completely, and be like, okay, well, beat us with Noah Kant and Deshaun, and that sounds gross.
Yeah, and that because I was gonna try and trade for him, but then I was like, okay, like what if he struggles because of double teams, and then what if they do put in Drew Lock in 3-4 weeks from now if the Broncos are basically just struggling.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I pulled myself away from trying to trade from him.
For sure, yeah.
It was a little bit deeper insight right there.
Yeah.
Defense, we said no. Cold side of the ball. Forgot we're in reverse order. I went backwards.
I flipped it up on you guys.
You flipped the script on us, eh?
Yeah, dude, and it doesn't make me feel good inside.
Flip the script. Look at the script. Jacoby Brissett. Dude's been solid week in and week out.
Dude, yeah, actually, we kind of called that last week. We, talking about streaming him. If you need a streaming quarterback for a week, and I think we had 4 touchdowns last week, right?
Yeah.
He balled out. So, yeah, hey, listen to us.
Yeah. I mean, he's playing well. He's playing well. I give this coaching staff credit. You lose like an MVP type of quarterback. We have a 14-year-old on the show, and then
What?
You lose an MVP type of quarterback. It's a good thing I'm like a news anchor expertise. This shit doesn't even faze me, bro. You could put all types of stuff.
Yeah, for what you guys don't understand, so we have a screen over here. It has the games on the screen. Mike, he's the tech guy. Mr. Miyagi, Mr. Mustache over here, or whatever. So we got a screen over here.
Bread.
Yeah, and with the games and the lines and all that stuff. But he can, like Photoshop it or paint over it, and he's just drawing like dicks and pieces of poop.
Dude,
and
what?
He's writing like
Dicks?
cock
Hey, you think that's
all over the screen as we're trying to go through the
Dicks? I'm putting dicks on it?
Dude, don't fucking lie to me, dude.
You think that's
What
why
are
he
you
was
talking about, dude?
It's like a big baby who's a stepdad. I don't understand. How are you a stepdad already?
Evidence, dude. I need some fucking
The girl
hard...
has 2 children to take care of.
She really does. I told her that the other day. She
I
just
want
laughed at me.
McDonald's. Mike's doing it. Shut up in the back seat. It's not even.
They only get one Happy Meal. And Mike's like, I want the fucking toy.
It's Mike in the back seat complaining because he doesn't get the Happy Meal.
Yeah, we actually got toys from Panera Bread the other day. That's what we got.
Did you steal them from work?
Yeah, I was at work.
I low-key think Mike
Still.
took that off the board so he could just draw shit all episode. He's like, dude,
For sure.
you guys want to just put it on the screen? It's not a big deal. I can have it right in front of you guys.
Yeah.
Low-key, he's
I feel like it's more you're still like in camera. I feel like sometimes when we put it on the board, you got to like look over to the side.
because since we can't turn our head without not moving our bodies.
Yeah, but now you're more focused into the podcast. It looks like you're looking.
Well, I'm just more focused on what you're drawing on the screen. I'm like, ooh, it's like I'm playing Pictionary or whatever. Like, ooh, is it a bear? A dog? Oh, piece of shit. Oh, got it. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Did you see the little black things I drew on?
Yeah,
there?
flies.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I'm on it, dude. Look, you just gave yourself away right there.
No, the poop thing was right, but you said penises, dude. I don't know. even how to draw one of those. Can we talk about football, dude?
Yeah, we're trying to. But every time I look at the screen, something else is different up there.
Yeah.
So I got the anchor man.
I'm entertaining the entertainers, dude.
Touche.
Jacoby Brissett. I mean, he's been pretty solid. I think he has 2 touchdowns in every game except for
one.
Except for one. And I think he's the only other company he has with that is like maybe Pat Mahomes. Like he's one of like only 2 quarterbacks that has 2 touchdowns in every game.
He's a fringe QB1. He's like in that back like 10 to 14 range. I feel like almost each and every week. You know, obviously offers a little bit of upside this last week, 4 touchdowns. But, I mean, Denver's defense, not great, not terrible, but they are at home. And, you know, and here's the thing with Jacoby Brissett we were talking about actually, because I know me and you, we had this conversation off air, but we were talking about how like we like the Colts going forward in this year as, you know, possibly winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
we were thinking about putting a futures bet on them. But then when they lost luck, we were like, I don't know about it. But they still have that whole team. It's just now you kind of swap out luck for Jacoby Brissett. And he's not a great quarterback, but he's not a terrible quarterback. He's almost like a game manager. He's not turning the ball over. He's just getting the ball done, you know, moving the chains, you know. I mean, it's a balanced offense.
We've seen Joe Flacco win a Super Bowl. So.
We have seen even guys like, you know, just off the top of it, Trent Dilfer. You know, he went in a Super Bowl. I mean, Trent Dilfer is not a good quarterback.
No, there's a couple of guys I'm trying to think of, but I can't. There's
Tom Brady, you know.
Didn't Matt
What about Big Dick
Didn't
Nick?
Matt Hasselbeck win a quarterback?
Do you think Big Dick Nick's
When did he win a quarterback?
really good quarterback?
Yeah, Nick Foles won. I mean,
Yeah,
he lost his job already after 1 quarter to Minshew Mania. Yeah,
that big piece of shit's won a couple Super Bowls.
You know why?
That piece of shit's won a couple Big Ben.
You know why, dude? That's why.
So Brissett, I mean, just, you know, not going to burn you.
Yeah, you're in a pinch. Yeah. Double quarterback league.
Yeah. Marlon Mack. You can start. I think Denver's. I think they're rushing DF head. I'm trying to. It's one of.
Yeah. I mean, with the amount of volume Mac is getting week in and week out. One thing I can say this is I actually just did a trade this week. I traded Mac for Tevin Coleman, and it's kind of a lateral move, I think. But he is kind of so boom or bust. It's like one game he'll put up like 15, 20 points. The next week he's putting up like 7, and then 15, 20 points, and then 7. And it's, but the volume is there. He's getting the work. You know, good offense, good offensive line.
You're not benching Mac.
You're not benching him. You know, he's an RB2 with RB1 upside each and every week.
Yeah.
I will say though, if you have, because I think Marlon Mack has a pretty tough schedule coming up though. Yeah. So I would try and trade him if I could. Maybe
it's one of the reasons why I traded him. The schedule going forward, and I've kind of noticed, you know, in the trend of, you know, boom bust kind of, even though with the volume he's getting, I do notice that in certain matchups against tougher run defenses, he has struggled. Obviously, he has the potential to hit a home run in any given week, but I didn't like that. You know me, I'm more of like I need the consistency of a player, so I moved Marlon Mack this week.
Denver's
for Tevin Coleman.
Denver's literally in the middle of the road on yards per game against the run.
I like it.
16.
Yeah, I think good game this week from Marlon Mack.
But in the last 3, they've only allowed 51 yards per game.
Yeah.
So
could be, I mean, but they got shredded by
stat.
Fournette. You know, just off the top. I know for sure Fournette had that 200-yard rushing game against them. So in teams that can run the ball, I think you know, I like Marlon Mack this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. 10 minutes from Marlon Mack, but we can start him. T.Y. Hilton, you're starting T.Y. Hilton this matchup. Yeah. I know it's a little bit tougher draws with the corners, but he's still.
Chris Harris is going to get shadow coverage. Yeah. He's really been really good this year.
Yeah, but the thing with T.Y. Hilton, though, is he gets moved into the slot a lot. So that's why he's still kind of that safer receiver where it's like Adam Thielen. And Adam Thielen has a tough matchup. They still move him to the slot. So it's not like he gets like full shadow coverage from. And I did look at Chris Harris' metrics of where he lines up. And he lines up pretty much on one side, which means he's not shadowing people.
He's been shadowing people. And honestly, Chris Harris, before this year, I know this because I was reading an article on him. But before this year, he was a primary slot corner. So that's where he normally would line up, you know, because back then they had to keep Talib in a couple of the corners on the outside. The Broncos did. So he will go into the slot, and he can go shadow all across the board.
8% of his snaps have been in the slot. Yeah. So it's not he's staying on the outsides.
Because mainly he's shadowing number ones, and I think we know most of the time number ones don't really go into the slot.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though, with T.Y. is that one, though, that goes into the slot.
But but he will follow that guy into the slot. You're still starting T.Y. I think that's the point.
Yeah, we're starting T.Y.
But it comes down to
Yeah, we're still
it's just
starting
starting Ty.
yeah. Who are you starting in front of Ty? You know,
I don't know. Yeah,
Not many
exactly.
people.
Yeah,
I like Ty.
I like putting.
Going forward, if you can get Ty trade from him, he'd be a guy.
Yeah, I heard Julian got him for Matt Breida.
Steal.
He told me that. In
Eric Ebron. No, I don't. I would see. This is the matchup where I wouldn't play him.
Yeah.
I don't see a
gross.
big touchdown game out of Brissett. Like we, kind of said, the upside was there.
Yeah,
last
42 point over under.
Colts D though. I like the Colts D in this matchup. It's not a bad start.
Yeah, I do like the Colts defense. Good schedule going forward too. So if you can grab them,
They
you
play
know,
Miami
for this
next week
weekend,
for
you
2
can
weeks.
actually probably stream them for a couple weeks.
Yeah, they have Miami in 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
it's definitely a streamer.
That's super horny.
We can get into the next matchup.
All right, I got an interesting trade to tell you about, Tyler. But
All right, the New
Yeah.
England Patriots.
we get the Patriots in Foxborough. They're playing the Cleveland Brownies. The Patriots are favored by 12 points, almost 2 full touchdowns. Over under is 45.5. Let's start on the Patriots side. Let's keep it right and start with the left.
Lift. New England side, you're starting Tom Brady. You're starting Sony Michel. It's going to be 40 yards for a touchdown or 2 or 3, apparently.
Yeah, I love that. Three touchdowns in like 40 yards.
Yeah. I mean, I heard a stat where it's like he hasn't had back-to-back games without a touchdown in like 20 games. So it's like,
Michel?
yeah. So it's been like 20 games. Like if he doesn't get a touchdown, like it's like he hasn't had back-to-back games without a touchdown for 20 straight games.
Damn.
Which is pretty like he's not going to get you sexy yardage, but the potential for him to score touchdowns is got to be
He's
top.
like a good standard.
It's got to be, yeah, he's a better standard play than PPR, but he's a hard RB2 to bench because his touchdown upside week to week is so high. I mean, you could definitely have PPR options where you have 2 or 3 better guys and you can get away from him in the flex, but he's just he is what he is. He's going to get the volume, he's going to get the carries, and he's going to get the goal line work more than likely.
What do you think about these other running backs there besides Sonny Michel?
Burkhead still has something with his foot. I don't know what the fuck's up with his
I think
foot.
he's still
it's been like 5 weeks
questionable.
straight.
Yeah.
And they don't even say
No,
what it
it's-
is. They don't say if it's like a
I'm
Liz
sure
Frank,
it's
if it's like
plantar
a
flashlightitis.
vagina-itis.
That's what I think. I don't know. It has to be something like bone spurs or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, James White, PPR guy, I think he's had 9 targets and I think it might be every game he's in, or something like that. I was looking at his numbers on the target game the other day. I'll pull him up right now. I feel like he's due for a touchdown too, James White.
Yeah.
He's almost had a couple of them, and he's gotten like either tackled at the half-yard line that was a touchdown, and he got tripped up last week for a big touchdown run. So PPR guy, he's got a high floor. If you're in a pinch, you need that running back. I mean, I'd take James White if I'm in a pinch in a PPR league.
Yeah.
Burkhead, I mean, I don't know if he hasn't played in 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know what's going on with him. And then
You're right. It just says foot every time. It's like foot. Like what? I got that foot.
I have a foot.
Well, good. I hope you have 2 because we need you out there on the field.
I guess we can move over to the.
We're running out of white players.
I would just say if Burkhead's there, I'm interested. I still am very intrigued to see how the work gets split up between Burkhead, Michelle, and James White when all 3 are healthy.
Yeah.
Brandon
If I
Bolden.
have Sonny Michelle right now, I'm probably selling high. I mean, I'm coming off a 3 touchdown game. I'm selling high. I mean,
I would sell high too. I had him. He's a hard player to sell.
Yeah.
He really is. It's
I
Nobody
just say like
wants
a
him.
couple players left to like if you can move a Sonny Michelle for like a Tevin Coleman, are you doing it or are you keeping?
yeah, I would do that.
I would do that.
What about Marlon Mack?
I would do that.
I would do that.
What about Joe Mixon?
No.
I
What
picked
about
up
like
poor Joe
like a
Mixon.
Josh Jacobs?
Get
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, yeah.
You get Josh Jacobs, yeah.
I would
Or
get-
maybe you do something where you throw like a Sonny
even-
Michelle in, and you take like a Sonny Michelle and like a solid receiver, and you try to get like I don't know a Chubb or like an Aaron. I mean, what do you want, Michelle or Aaron Jones?
I don't think anyone would take Michelle for Aaron Jones. I mean,
But I'm
maybe.
saying, but you do like a Sonny Michelle plus a receiver
Oh,
to get
yeah,
Aaron
yeah,
Jones.
I got you.
you
Yeah,
know?
if I could do that, I would.
Or you do like a Sonny Michelle plus a receiver to get Nick Chubb almost. You
Yeah.
know? So
It sucks with Sony because I made so many offers with him and they were just all turned down. It's
nobody
like,
wants him.
just
huh?
nobody
It's
wants him.
scary.
It's like I'm like the point. If you look at the points, though, the points are there. They're just ugly points.
Yeah.
It's just-
It's
yeah.
not like they're sexy points, but they're like the points are going to be there all year.
Yeah.
And actually, no, something that I was thinking about too is the knee issue with his scope, Carry-On's knee issue, I think there might be a difference with ACL tears to versus like scopes and knee like the scoping, because it's like I was just looking at some numbers, and that's something I want to pay attention to if any of our other running backs go through this or receivers. Is last year both these running backs were Pro Football Focus graded like in the 80s. They were like top 12 graded running backs. Their elusiveness was like top 10. Like they were making people miss. They were. I found this website where I was digging deep into stats. And both of them last year, like top 8 in juke rate or top 10 in juke rate, top 8 in yards created. And then this year, they both had those knee issues with the scopes and stuff like that. And those numbers have completely changed. Like they're completely opposite of what they were. That could be line oriented and that could be some other stuff. But both these guys went from top 10 graded running backs and top 10 elusiveness backs to in the 30s as far as the elusiveness category, and in the 30s as far as yards creative and all this other stuff. So that's something I really want to pay attention forward. We've seen this from 2 running backs, and if that happens on a 3rd or 4th running back, this is something we might need to, from a medical standpoint, pay attention to see if these guys are actually losing some type of burst. Specifically more with Carry-On than Sony is where it made me realize it, because Sony's, Patriot system, but it was like his numbers last year. I looked at the elusiveness, all this stuff was really high. Yeah. And to see Carry-On have similar knee issues and his elusiveness just fall off, like the big run percentage for both these guys was high last year. It's dipped down to non-existent. So there's got to be something that goes on with those knees for backs that I kind of want to see going forward.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree.
Just a different medical note. Like I was just like looking into this.
The receiver wise here, so the news broke, Josh Gordon on IR. He's not out for the year. So it's kind of a tricky situation. So he's on the IR. He's got the knee injury, but the Patriots have said once he becomes healthy, they're going to waive him. So he will become a free agent. So if you have Josh Gordon, are you cutting him or are you just kind of holding him? Because let's say in 3 weeks he gets healthy, they cut him, and then I don't know, he gets picked up by the Packers, or maybe gets picked up by the Texans or something crazy like that.
I don't know how that works, because I don't know if they can, because the IR is 7 weeks or 6 weeks, right? I know Kerry went on IR a week ago. He's out till week 15. So it's like, I think it's something like that. It's from a payment standpoint where it's like, I don't know if they can just cut him unless they pay him a check. Yeah. Because like kind of knowing a situation that I know is like, you're still getting game checks from the team. And unless you're cleared through that IR and they take you off of IR, I could be a little wrong on this. We could find out some more, but I don't know if they could just basically say, hey, you're cut even though you're injured and we're not paying you. I think they still have to give him an injury settlement payment. So they would have to pay him a lump sum. So, I mean, could they afford to do that? Yeah, but like you said, it gets tricky where it's like, I don't know if they're just going to be like, his agent might be like, well, we don't want them. We want to get our game checks. Are you
dropping him then? Are you holding him? I mean,
I'd probably drop him if I need to. I don't want to hold that position for weeks on and out. And like, what situation is he going to go to where it's going to be better than the Patriots? I mean, there might be a few, but I think the chances are slim. And then it's like he has to get back into the offense. And then maybe it's a week 13, 14 thing. I don't want to start him in my playoffs guessing if he's going to be, relevant or not. So I'm probably dropping him.
Yeah. I think it's a safe drop, but yeah.
I would probably hold him for at least another week or two to try to get some more clarity on the situation.
If you have an IR spot, put him there.
Oh, yeah, IR spot.
Because there's IR spots, so you can put him there.
Yeah, for sure.
I would definitely do that.
The other receivers, though, I mean, this is kind of crowded. I mean, they traded for Sanu, traded second-round draft pick to the Falcons to get Sanu. And then you still have Philip Dorsett. You still got Julian Edelman, who's set it and forget it every week. And then Jacoby Myers. But then you also got the rookie N'Keal Harry coming back in a week or two as well. So it's a pretty crowded wide receiver core here. I mean, in one of my leagues, I picked up Philip Dorsett just because I saw some crazy stat. It was like in the last, I don't even know, like the last 7 games or something like that. It was with Dorsett and Tom Brady. I think he's got 7 touchdowns, or it's like the last 9 games he's got 7 touchdowns. So seems to be a guy that Tom Brady's kind of favoring. I trust him. Touchdown upside and a good offense. I mean, what receivers going forward, I guess you could say, with Josh Gordon being out of the picture now, do you feel comfortable rostering or even playing?
I'm not starting Sanu this week.
Yeah.
It's just based off of what I guess I can say I've kind of paid attention to the Patriots, the way they use their receivers. I mean, even Antonio Brown, when he was there for that one game, yeah, he had a touchdown, but like it was against Miami, 1. And then 2, his snap percentage was, let me try and pull it off of New England Patriots. That snap percentage is not going to be very high. I know that they did the same thing with Josh Gordon. He was on a pitch count. AB was on a pitch count. And Sanu's good, but he's not on the caliber of, definitely not on the caliber of AB. 33%, 24 snaps in his first week played. So you're kind of playing with fire if you're starting Sanu in his first week there.
Yeah, tough offense to learn, the verbiage, the terminology, all this stuff. So I'd be fading Sanu this week. I think he does offer some value as well.
Going forward, yeah. This week, I'm probably staying away this week.
I think this week the receivers only I'd feel comfortable playing is Edelman, obviously.
And Dorsett.
And then Dorsett.
Yeah, agreed. Tight end, they don't have O.J. Howard yet, and he got hurt, so I don't know if.
I mean, Ben Watson's an interesting option, just depending on who you have. If you're like in a crazy pinch and no one's there, I mean, I would see if Brate's available, just because O.J. Howard is out this week for the Buccaneers. But if you're just in a crazy pinch, maybe Ben Watson is a desperation, like Hail Mary kind of play.
Yeah. No, I don't hate it. He's been getting used a little more.
And then the Patriots defense, I can't imagine a scenario where you're not starting them.
You start them.
Yeah.
They're like, I told me and Mike were talking about last episode. I was like, the Bills is like a top 5 overall defense, and they have 3 times as many points as the Bills do.
Jesus.
And it's
crazy.
Yeah, they're winning a Super Bowl. That defense is gonna just too good. Like when you have 2 or 3 of the top 5 corners, I don't think it matters who else is on your defense.
They have been playing the level of competition.
Yes, they've been playing level, but the way they've been destroying that level of competition is on another level than other teams.
Yeah,
it's I
agree.
And just from a scheme point, if you have 2 corners that can lock down your 2 wideouts and a third corner that can borderline lock down someone else out, I mean, and you have some. I know the couple of D linemen they signed what's his name to a big contract from the Lions. They're getting a lot of sacks. It's just that defense is just.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure anyone who goes to New England sells their soul to the devil, and that's why they're so good.
New England's defense is good. Start him. Cleveland side of the ball. I almost said Johnny Manziel. Baker Mayfield.
No,
not in this matchup. Chubb, you're still starting.
For sure. Chubb's just set and forget it every week. He just
Yeah. What's your guys' feel on this with Kareem Hunt? Because I might be on a different side of it when he comes back. What's your guys? I'm curious to see what you guys say when he comes back. This is kind of a little bit future, but it's right around the corner. It's week.
No, yeah.
It's week 10. He's back.
Yeah,
right?
He's out for 9 weeks.
Yeah, so it's week 10. He's back. What's your guys' feel on it? I have my opinion.
I obviously it throws a wrench in the whole thing. Do I think Kareem Hunt's just gonna straight up take everything over? I don't know. He can't practice with the team, right? Because his type of suspension.
Yeah, he can't practice with the team until he's actually off.
With that being said, it's how much is he going to be used to the offense? I mean, Kareem Hunt's a stud. Yeah, he was amazing. It's a shame that he left Kansas City. You see the fucking running situation they're going through out there. You wish that he was still there, but I still think it's good if you have him on your bench, keep him there. I think it's a good add. If he's on waivers, I would pick him up, but I probably won't start him right away when he comes back. What do you think?
Go ahead, Tyler.
I think Chubb's role is locked in.
You think?
Yeah, I think he's locked in. I think obviously Kareem Hunt comes in. Yeah, they're going to use him a little bit, but I think Chubb has shown his worth and his value in this offense, and his ability to be a bruiser, be the solid running back, just in overall in the NFL.
Do you think he could be like a screen guy, or?
I think it'll take away a couple of touches from Chubb, but I think Chubb still sees 15+ touches each and every week.
I mean, I think you got Kareem Hunt for nothing, but I feel like for you to not use him.
No, I think they for sure use him. I mean, he's a good player. He's a good football player. We've seen it in Kansas City. I think it's probably the offense and the
reverse Ty Montgomery
that he was in, but also he's a good football player too. So I think they use him because it's only going to make that offense better. But actually, I'm kind of curious. Do you think maybe they use a little 2 running back?
Yeah,
sets
that's
more
what I'm
often,
saying. That's what I'm getting at. I think that
maybe you got Chubb back there, and then you got Kareem Hunt lined up in the slot almost kind of.
They could have him. They could have almost like a Tariq Cohen kind of situation with him. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they use him. I'm kind of on this. I think we're all leaning towards the same direction with it. I'm on Ty. I think his role's locked in. I think he's done too much to. I mean, it's been almost a full season now. What did he have? 9 games at the start of last year. 8 games. We got a full 16-game slate of seeing him just dominate as a running back.
Yeah.
No matter who the team is, the opponent team is. I mean, a full season of like over 5 yards per carry with a bad line this year. I mean, can Kareem Hunt have the same efficiency he has behind this line? I mean, if he comes out and struggles, Kareem Hunt on his end for not playing football for over a year. I just think Chubb's locked into his role. But like you said, I think they do get him involved to some extent, maybe some 2 running back sets. Maybe using him out as a receiver, like you said, Tariq Cohen role. But I mean, Chubb's just been a monster as a running back. I mean, I think he has the most breakaway runs, he was not the number 1 rated running back on Football Focus last year, and he might be 1 or 2 again this year with the terrible offensive line. He's actually someone I'm going to try and target. Is on the bye week. 1, you get him on the bye, so you get him a little cheaper. 2, you might have that owner who's like, oh shit, Kareem Hunt's coming back. And when most people, a good amount of people aren't fantasy knowledgeable nowadays, but like people aren't really digging into all this stuff. So you might get people panicking like, oh, Kareem Hunt's back. They're going to split time, and you might be able to flip like. You might be able to flip if I could flip like Tevin Coleman and maybe someone else to get Nick Chubb, like I would do that. That's kind of where I would try and upgrade my RB position to get just a top tier RB, because I personally don't think his role is really going to change.
I think better days are ahead for this Cleveland offense as well. I think they personally drank the Kool-Aid on themselves and like, oh yeah, we're fucking gonna be so good, and it's almost like you have to get like humbled in a sense, like, hey guys, chill, like you guys are good, but like you guys aren't just gonna run over the league. So
it happened with what, like didn't Golden State have like kind of that at first when they had that super team? It took them a while to get like chemistry and all that.
No, yeah, for sure, 100%.
A lot more games, so it's different. But
one win year they broke the record for most wins in the league, and then they get Kevin Durant the next year, and it's like. They struggled a little bit. They weren't as good out the gate, like you said.
And I've seen that in baseball, even in sports, where it's like you'll have like the Red Sox or Yankees have these, or some other teams they'll pay, or the Phillies or something like that. They'll pay for all these players, have a stacked lineup. Even the Dodgers a couple of years, I feel like I've done that. They'll have the stacked ass lineups. They'll come out.
Dodgers a good example.
Or how about the Manny whatever on the Padres?
Yeah, but they weren't like a stacked team.
Yeah,
but like sometimes they'll stack teams, and you'll see them, and they'll be like barely 500 for like a first half of season, and then they'll just go bam, and they'll just like make a playoff run.
Yeah,
more games, so it's a little different. But like you said,
I think coming out of the bye week, and this is obviously a tough game in New England, but I think coming out of the bye week, I think this team is going to get right. I think they're going to start clicking on all cylinders. Obviously, you get Kareem Hunt back, and then the schedule going forward is obviously nice.
Yeah. They have a lot of winnable games going forward, like the Broncos, Bills, Steelers, Dolphins,
Dolphins,
Bengals, Cardinals, Ravens, Bengals. I mean, that's a very, very, very good schedule for them going forward.
Yeah. Dude, but they play the Steelers twice.
Okay, so they basically play the Dolphins 4 times.
Oh. Shots fired.
Because they're about to lose to Miami.
Receivers here. So you got Odell and Landry. I mean, I get it. Odell's going to be shadowed by Stephon Gilmore. He's one of the best corners in the league. But I'm never sitting Odell. I mean, is there really a scenario where you're benching Odell? I mean, how deep do you have to be at
like Chris
receiver?
Godwin and Cooper Kupp. And you took Odell in the first round. That'd be like the only scenario.
But then who are you starting in your flex? Are you?
That's where I'm like. So I have a scenario where I have like in one league I have Cooper Kupp and someone else who's like I have another really good receiver, and I'm like, dude, I'm still flexing Odell.
Here's the thing with Odell. It's like even when he's covered, he's not. Can we agree on that at least? Because we've seen the amount of catches he can make with one hand and his ability to just. It's like he's covered, yeah, but can he? Even if he's covered, can he make the catch? Yeah, and I think Baker's that kind of guy where he's super egotistical, and he'll be like, "Oh, you're covered, bet," like boom, and he'll try to try to fit it in the window.
Yeah, I feel like
it was a pick, but like
it's hard to bench him, like you said. You got to have some top. You have to have 2 top 12 options, but then you said it comes down to your flex. Like, who are you flexing over him?
Yeah,
you'd have to have like 3. Your team's got to be loaded.
Yeah,
and if your team's not loaded, trade Odell.
I was gonna say, wait, I have an announcement, guys. I have an announcement.
That's what my headphones.
Breaking news.
Your boy traded Melvin Gordon for Odell Beckham Jr.
You got Odell?
I got Odell.
Mike's been setting that drop up for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He's like, wait.
Fuck up.
Wait,
fuck up, dude. I'm talking. You guys got to talk. It's my turn.
Wait, one more time.
All right. I had Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler, and it was fucking so frustrating because I kept playing Melvin Gordon. I was like, get him out of here. Sent it for Odell.
Send this guy
you
back
got
here.
it?
Got it.
Hey, you did it right for the
I like that. I like that trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GM of the year over there.
Horny, dude. Horny.
Yeah, you're not all mustaches over there, dude. You're fucking, you're brain blasting over there.
Bro, I don't want to say that I'm Jimmy Neutron, but this fucking cranium's got some brainiums in it.
Oh,
Oh.
I like it. No, I like it. I'll for sure send it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Pretty dope.
I like that trade,
Sure.
Mike.
Good
GM
trade
of the year
there.
over there.
20.
Especially the schedule getting forward is really nice for Odell. I have Odell in two leagues. I have Odell in 2 leagues, and honestly I was trying to move him in both leagues, and no one would bite. But honestly, I'm just gonna hold tight on him. I didn't want to sell low. You know, every time I tried to trade for him, I was still trading him for that Odell Beckham value, but people would offer me less than that, and I just wasn't gonna. I'm not selling 50 cents on the dollar in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll hold on to him because I know the schedule going forward is nice, and I do know Baker is a gunslinger and he's willing to chuck it up to him, and the targets are there. So, yeah, I like Odell going forward still. I mean, he's just set it and forget it for me. For me personally, he's just set and forget it every single week. I don't care who he's playing against, just because, like I said, when he's
Would you in a
even when he's covered, he's
see
open.
because right now like I have Julio, Stephon Diggs, and now I have Odell, and I have Juju. So it's like I have like 4. Obviously, fucking Juju's been shit, but you know that's a situation where I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, do I even play him against the Patriots? I got Golden Tate, you know.
Oh, I'm selling Diggs
Juju.
high. That's me, in my opinion. I'm selling Diggs high.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah,
I'm trying to package Diggs with the running back you got maybe and try to upgrade that running back.
you're right.
Turbo booster.
Yeah, interesting, but yeah, interesting stat.
Jarvis Landry, I'm probably shying away in this game. Just due to the matchups.
PPR, I'm okay with Landry in standard. Yeah.
Yeah, wide receiver, I'd still flex
The
him
thing
if he
with
brought up
Landry
the
is like he's such like because I'm a Dolphin fan. You're a Dolphin fan too, Anthony. Mike, you're not a Dolphin fan, but
I feel like I'm a fucking
We-
supplementary.
we've seen
Yeah.
Landry and we've watched every game of him pretty much until this last couple years. But he's such a good, actual like professional NFL wide receiver. Like he can run good routes. He's got good hand. Like he, you know, in the open field, he's elusive. He's
He's good at hitting his
wide
teammates in the face
receiver,
of the
yeah.
football too.
He's good. Yeah, testosterone.
He got
Testosterone.
that. Yeah, he got that, baby.
He's such a good receiver. You would just like to see the target. I mean, obviously, we kind of touched on it in draft season. The targets weren't going to be there like they were in Miami. But yeah, I mean, I'm just biased. I like Landry. I'm a big Landry fan.
Sexual, whatever the fuck it is.
I think that's about it.
I mean, PPR, I'll probably I'd down up Landry. Standard, I'll probably be fading him.
Tight end.
There's been Ricky Seals-Jones. What's
Seals?
the deal on? He's actually been targeted more and more.
He's actually-
Baker
yeah.
does like tight ends. I ended up dropping because of the bye, but yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at Ricky, dude. Like we always say, this tight end atmosphere. It's not that crazy to be playing Ricky Seals.
Yeah. I'd probably wait until the better matchups if you're like kind of holding him, but
Oh yeah, I forgot they're playing the Patriots. Never mind.
yeah.
Don't listen to me.
Cleveland's defense, no go.
Negative.
Green Bay and Kansas City. We've got Green Bay at the Kansas City. Mahomes been ruled out, or he's doubtful, so he's basically out, right?
Who?
Mahomes.
He's out. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
actually
he's
ruled out.
ruled
yeah.
out? Okay.
Yeah, Andy
Uh,
Reid came out and said he's not going to play.
I guess
He
we
practiced, but he's not going to play.
Let's just mix it up. We can keep it on the Chiefs side. We go right to left this time. So the Chiefs, Matt Moore's filling in. Matt Moore's a capable quarterback. It's not like you're not getting like a
He won the Dolphins game.
you're not getting like a
Couple
Mason Rudolph or like a Josh Rosen. I bagged them both of us.
I mean, a couple years back, Matt Moore had to step in for Tannehill,
And it wasn't bad. That's what I was
we
getting
made
at.
the playoffs, and Matt Moore went 3-0 down the stretch at the end of the season to help us make the playoffs.
So that way you
obviously
could
he got
lose.
destroyed by the Steelers in the first round.
You got destroyed by the Steelers kicker.
Annihilated.
No, he got destroyed by the Steelers.
That was during the season. You're right.
They legit, literally, like I forget who it was.
It was over in like the first quarter.
It might have been when Ryan Shazier could walk, actually, but he destroyed. That's kind of fucked up, dude. My bad.
Yeah, I think it was.
Sorry, Ryan.
No, that was that season.
But
no,
they
it's-
destroyed
you're right.
Matt Moore, and they didn't call a penalty. And I remember watching and thinking, like, oh, if that was Tom Brady, they would have for sure called the penalty. Ejection. You're out. Vontae's perfect. You're out for the whole year. But they're like, oh, Matt Moore? Who are you? No one cares.
Oh, what career? Did you sell your soul to the devil? No.
No. But what about Matt Moore though? So one of my boys today, he was asking me, he's like, "Oh man, my quarterback's on a bye." I can't remember who he said. He's like, he was going over the waiver wire players. He's like, "I have Mason Rudolph in right now," but then he's like, and I was like, "Well, who's on the waiver wire?" And he was like, "Oh, like Matt Moore, Andy Dalton." I don't fuck. It was just all nothing good. And And I was like, honestly, bro, like I'm not mad at Matt Moore just because it's Sunday night game, they're at home. As a Dolphin fan, I've seen what Matt Moore brings to the table. I know he's not afraid to chuck it deep to like a Tyreek Hill, Macaulay Harmon if he's stretching the field, DeMarcus Russell, any of these guys, they're going deep. Like he's not afraid to chuck it deep to these guys. He's not conservative. He's not a Derek Carr captain check down kind of guy. He'll sling it. He'll sling the rock. So
yeah, he threw the one to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, so I think a full week of preparation. I actually kind of like the over in this game at 48. I think this is kind of a shootout Sunday night football kind of game here. I'm not mad at Matt Moore here. If you're in a pinch or you're in a double quarterback league, you need to start someone. And Matt Moore's there. I'm not mad at it. I personally would throw Matt Moore.
Kyle Allen or Matt Moore?
Matt Moore.
Matt Moore, that's easy.
Okay, Kyle Allen. Matt Moore. Matt Moore or Derek Carr?
I think Matt Moore finishes in the top. I would say at least the top 16. I guess because there's 32 quarterbacks, right? Well, there's bye weeks and stuff, but I think Matt Moore finishes in the top half of the quarterbacks this week,
top 14.
compared to not the top 14. Good offense.
Against that good secondary.
Yeah.
Green Bay supposedly has got this good secondary. Would you play?
But good off. I mean, I don't know. You
Their
still got Kelsey.
their offense is pretty nuts.
You still got
besides-
Tyreek Hill. Sammy Watkins is supposed to be coming back. You still got, like I said, Macaulay Hardman, Demarcus Robinson on that, coming in here and there. The running backs out of the backfield. I'm not mad at it. What I'm trying to say is I'm not mad at Matt Moore this week.
Yeah.
What do you feel
Could be
about Matt
worse.
Moore?
No, I'm on the same page. If I'm silent, I'm usually just on the same page.
Yeah.
I'm looking up like stats in advance for other stuff. No, saying on the same page as you with that. I'm not mad at it. Receiver side, or we can start with the running backs. Like it's probably. I think McCoy might get a little bit more work. I feel like he's in that RB2-3 range where we've talked about guys like Freeman. Who's some of the other guys we talked about in the back end? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'd still start him over maybe some guys like. Would you go with him like because these guys are in the same range like Jordan Howard and Frank Gore.
McCoy.
Yeah, same here. I'm trying to think of some other players off head. Carlos Hyde or McCoy?
McCoy.
That's a tough one for me. I think standard I'd go Hyde.
What about like a
Freeman.
Ty Johnson or McCoy?
I'd go McCoy.
McCoy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What about Freeman, Devontae Freeman?
I think I'm gonna go McCoy.
McCoy.
That was
I like McCoy this week. The Packers' run defense has been pretty bad. I know they're giving it up.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where I draw the line, just because Eckler has been.
I think I'd go.
He's just been getting it done. I don't know. That's
hard.
a tough one. I think I'd go McCoy on safety.
I'd probably go Eckler on that one.
Interesting set.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one. If it's standard, I'd go McCoy. PPR, then I'd pull my hair out.
McCoy or Mixon?
Everyone but Mixon.
I know. I picked up Mixon in your guys' league, in the Gin League, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, do I even want this motherfucker on my team?
McCoy or Tevin Coleman?
Coleman.
I'm so
Henry,
torn on that. That's where I draw the line.
Derrick Henry or McCoy?
McCoy.
Yeah,
That
obviously.
matchup, the Buccaneers have been shutting everybody out on the run side.
All right. Well, let's move on to the receivers. I think it's mid.
I like McCoy this week. I think we all agree.
Yeah.
We like McCoy this week.
What
about Damian Williams though? Because if he was the one who was getting drafted in the second, third, fourth, fifth round, potentially.
Probably take a gun, kill yourself.
Right. I agree.
Did you guys draft David Williams?
No, I didn't touch him ever.
Yeah.
The spot where I would have considered him would have been like fourth, fifth round.
Yeah.
That's
he was always gone by then, right?
He was gone by then, so I never had to consider him.
Someone took him in the first round in one of my leagues. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, you're a female. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a female with friends.
All right, so I just agree. We're not high on Damian Williams, but we do like McCoy.
Yeah. Wide receivers, Tyreek Hill.
Just still dying.
You never mention
every
him.
single. He's a home run threat.
I'm probably not starting any of the other guys because it's roulette. And then
It really
Jair
is.
Alexander is there, which he's playing as a pretty tough corner. He's shut opposing receivers down. I looked up at 4 of his matchups to under like 5 points.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper had a big game against him. So I mean, but outside of that, he's been shutting people down for the most part.
I think with the Chiefs receivers, what you were doing was you were playing them just because they had Pat Mahomes throwing the ball. And
Yeah.
there's just the chance of that person
Yeah.
blowing
And
up.
with
They
no
had a high
Mahomes.
ceiling. With no Mahomes, it's just like you said, it's just you never know who the fuck's gonna be the relevant receiver.
Yeah,
Sammy
I agree.
Watkins, Hardman, Robinson. What the fuck, you know?
Yeah,
It's just like what the fuck, ball.
I agree with your.
It's just
with your
science.
So onto the tight end. You're starting Kelsey. Defense, no.
No.
Green Bay side of the ball. Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, yeah, after last week,
Yeah.
Fuck.
yeah. The Chiefs secondary is not very good either. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Sunday Night Football. I like the over in it, over 48. So, yeah, I'm definitely down on Rodgers.
Yeah, this is one of the weeks where I like Rodgers too. Running back position, Aaron Jones.
Yep.
I mean, I guess Jamal Williams is where it gets a little trickier. Like he's someone you could play that's usable.
Like a flex guy, kind
Yeah.
of. I mean, each week he's being incorporated in the offense.
Yeah, no, he is, and he's actually looked a little bit better than he has as far as efficiency wise over the last few weeks than he has the prior
Yeah.
25 games of his career.
You're like in a double flex league or something like that, or
Yeah.
you got bye weeks. You
Yeah.
need to flex someone. You're in a pinch. I'm not mad at Jamal Williams. Yeah.
Yeah. The receiver position, Devontae Adams. I think he's still going to be out, but he's been making some
Yeah,
progress. I think
it's
he's
doubtful.
I think there's a good chance he's back next week. I don't want to guarantee it, but I think there's a decent chance you get Devontae Adams back next week.
So let's just touch on that real quick. So I have Devontae Adams in one league, and it's like, okay, it's a Sunday night game. It makes it tricky. Like if you have Devontae Adams and you either not starting him or you're taking the gamble on starting him. So let's say you take the gamble, you start him, boom, it comes out right before the game. Devontae Adams is out. What's your like pivot mood?
Well,
Where are you going?
I would hopefully be able to throw him in my flex just in
yeah.
case.
If you're
That
gonna
way-
play-
Yes, but what's your pivot move? Because at that point you have someone from the Packers, the Chiefs, or you got to pivot to someone in the Monday night game, the Steelers in Miami. So who is your? Obviously, you throw them into the flex, so you have that flexibility, as they say.
I think if you have Devontae Adams, throw him in the flex. If he doesn't play, as bad as it sounds, I pick up like Deontay Johnson or somebody from Pittsburgh or
No, I like that. I like
I
that.
go
Yeah.
Devontae Parker. Homers.
Oh, Devontae Parker.
no, I mean
I
no.
would probably.
Against the
I
Steelers
like
defense.
I like both
Yeah.
those honestly. Yeah, I like both those
You
honestly.
pick the Devontae Parker.
The Parker, yeah.
Okay, you pick Parker.
Beer bet. Johnson is Parker.
Okay,
This is an ugly beer bet. Let's do it.
Johnson just better at everything than Parker.
So what? Okay, so you have Devontae Adams. He doesn't play.
Wait. Are we doing receptions? Because like, what if one of them gets more receptions?
We're going
but the one
points.
has
When do
more
we ever do
yards?
reception? When the fuck do we ever go
'cause I said
reception?
Why are you so fucking stupid?
When the hell have we ever done receptions on a beer bet?
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
All right, sorry guys.
Okay, so Devontae Adams, he's out. Okay, so if
That's what I would do.
Geronimo Allison or MVS is there, are those your main guys? Are you leaning towards like a Macaulay Hardman or a DeMarcus Robinson's he there? You said Pittsburgh Steelers. You got Deontay Johnson. Anthony
I
said
think-
Devontae Parker. What guy is
Or
your
Benny
number
Snell.
one guy? Yeah,
If-
Benny
if-
Snell. You got like maybe a Mark Walton who's been getting more run for Miami.
I think maybe I don't like MVS and I don't like Geronimo. I don't like playing. I know it might be a shootout, but it's just like I don't know. Geronimo does stupid shit like run out of bounds on a fucking wide open touchdown. Sick,
Thanks, been
dude.
mad about that
Dude,
for
why is
weeks.
so fucking stupid?
Yeah, my point is like yeah, I'm not gonna trust that guy. He had nobody on him and he fucking just stepped out of bounds like an idiot. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna pick Geronimo. I'm gonna pick someone who's playing against arguably, but not even arguably, the worst team in the league.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Miami,
pick
yeah.
up Benny Snell or I'm gonna pick up Deontay Johnson. That's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna be at the game, so. But I don't have Devontae Adams, so it doesn't matter.
No, I'm not against it. I'm just because this is a scenario.
Yeah, sure. And that's a
especially for
big
me
s-
personally. I have Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
Too,
and a lot of people have Devontae Adams.
it's looking like he's going to trend out. Obviously, it would be nice to know
Maybe just
before the
drop him.
morning game start to be okay. Devontae Adams isn't going to play today because then you're like, okay, now you have a wide range of players you could pick. But if you're kind of banking on Devontae Adams, you're like holding on like a 50-50, and then boom, all of a sudden he's out. It's like you need someone to be able to throw in there. So I guess, like you said, if you have Devontae Adams, maybe just throw him into your flex spot if that's an option, and then that way you can have that flexibility.
Whether or not you have good enough receivers to be in place. If
Just
you have
someone.
Adams.
Yeah.
Just give you some type of points.
Save a roster spot though. So 'cause if you don't save a roster spot, you're either gonna get a 0 or you're gonna have to drop Devontae Adams. You don't want to have to drop Devontae Adams.
Yeah, no,
so
fine.
have a burner spot ready. Either have that player picked up that you're considering, or just have a guy you can throw away that it's either not on a bye this week or that's playing in one of those two matchups. 'Cause you don't want to get locked in.
I'm just saying that because what's it called? I forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm asking who you guys would pick, and I think you guys nailed both those
Oh,
guys.
those
guys.
the
Deontay Johnson and Devontae Parker. Those would probably be two of the guys who I'd probably want, in that Monday night game.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is that you're probably not gonna be able to pick, like, those guys are more owned. Like these Pittsburgh players that I'm talking about, and even Devontae Parker, they're not as much owned.
Yeah, no.
You will be able to pick them up pretty easily.
Most likely, yeah.
Most likely.
Or like a guy like a Preston Williams. That's like
Yeah.
an off-topic name right there
Yeah.
as well. We've seen with Fitzpatrick, he's won up against Sloan.
Honestly, I know. Look, whose defense would you rather have the offensive player going up against? Steelers or the Dolphins defense?
The Dolphins. No,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like that. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like that's
No, I get it. Devontae Parker has been nice, but we can touch on that when we get to the Pittsburgh stuff. But anyways, okay, so Devontae Adams, he's in the air. It's actually trending like he's not going to play. But I'm just saying, if you leave him in there, that's
Sure.
If he doesn't play, like you said, you don't feel comfortable starting MVS or Geronimo?
I mean, I'm in situations where I'm going to. I was lucky. I was able to pick up like AJ Brown and like Kiki Cutie.
Yeah.
So I'm starting right now. I have Kiki Cutie in. I got Cole Beasley in against. I'm playing those guys over Geronimo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Depending on PPR, yeah, those guys kind of. I mean, those guys are like wide receiver 3 flex guys to me. Obviously, they have the upside. They're tied to Aaron Rodgers in that offense. But do you feel? One thing I've learned: do you really feel confident throwing Geronimo, Allison, or MVS in your lineup? No.
Never.
No,
Never.
you don't.
Because I did it last week.
Because you don't know. It's just it's like a roller coaster. Up,
Listen,
down,
dude.
up, down,
Listen.
up, down.
Aaron Rodgers threw 6 touchdowns or threw 5 touchdowns and ran 1 in.
Yeah.
Guess who didn't have a touchdown?
Who?
Geronimo.
That's yeah.
So what the fuck, dude?
And no Devontae Adams.
Yeah, and no Devontae Adams. Is like, how confident can you feel?
And even MVS, I think his touchdown was like a 5-yard out, and he kind of ran around the
Yeah.
corner and took it to the house. So it's like, yeah.
So there's 5 touchdowns.
As Estancia would say,
Gross.
gross.
But yeah, there's 5 touchdowns, and out of those 2 players that everybody's thinking about flex playing, 1 player got 1 touchdown.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Not with it.
Jimmy G though. I think Jimmy G's on that. Like I said, I think I said it with another.
Whenever
tight
you
end
guys say
Ham
Jimmy Graham, I always think what, we're talking about Garoppolo. What's going on here?
No.
Yeah,
Jimmy
sure.
Graham,
Yeah,
tight
yeah.
end for the Packers.
Yeah,
I think he's always in that 10 range, 8 to 12 kind of area. Where like I don't know, it's what because once you get to that area, it's the tight ends are kind of gross, and it's
Yeah, in the shootout, I like him better than some. I like him better than like a Colts tight end. I like
Chiefs
him.
passing defense is not very good. So
Would you play him or? I mean, you're playing him over like Dawson. You're playing him over a lot of guys. Would you play him or
That's what I'm saying, yeah,
Gerald Everett? Gerald Everett. Would you play him or Gerald Everett? 'Cause against Bengals. So I'd play Gerald Everett probably in that situation.
if Devontae Adams doesn't play, I'm playing Jimmy Graham over Everett.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I think Gerald Everett's gonna have a big game this week. I know we
could
touched
be.
on that. earlier.
The Bengals are pretty bad. So.
Yeah.
Packers defense, I don't like it. I still think Kansas City at home.
I don't
in
think-
Kansas City.
You know what? I just like going against the backup quarterback. I think that he could be fucking up, but yeah, I would be looking elsewhere though.
Yeah.
I agree. It's not that there's worse.
No, it's probably worse for sure. Yeah, but
There's worse.
yeah,
I think it's like a middle
on the
tier.
road in Kansas City. Like I said, I think Matt Moore's a capable quarterback of getting it done.
I don't think you're gonna get negative points, but you're not gonna get fucking over 10.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to move on to the Pittsburgh game
The
in
Monday
Miami.
night game, baby. You're gonna be out there, live correspondent out there this week.
Yeah. Yes, I am, Daddy.
So we got the Dolphins are traveling to Pittsburgh. They're going to play the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's minus 14 Monday Night Football. So when this game broke at the beginning of the year, we were talking about going because we're Dolphins fans, me and Anthony, and you are the residential Steelers fan here.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, let's go to this game. We're gonna fucking go. Monday night's gonna be so dope. We're gonna
get
fucking
hammered.
we're gonna try to like live stream it from the whatever. We're gonna do something with the podcast and in general for the average bros out there, right? Then Miami sucked, and I was like, dude, I'm not spending money to go from Las Vegas to Pittsburgh to watch us get shellacked and then get heckled by all the Steelers fans.
Yeah, I feel it. I don't blame you.
Because I'm going to be rocking all my Miami gear because I'm loyal like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get beat up in Pittsburgh.
I mean, I don't think you would go beat up. You probably
I
get
don't
like
know,
a lot
dude.
of like sympathy.
Dude,
hugs.
I don't know, dude. I get beat up in Pittsburgh. So we're not going to go, but you're going to go to the game, Monday Night Football. I'm hyped for you because it's Monday Night Football, dude. You're going to Pittsburgh. Have you been to a Steelers game before?
Not at Heinz Field. No.
Dude, I'm hyped for you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, man. That is going to be a good time, especially because you guys are going to win.
Yeah, it's like, but honestly, it's one of those dangerous moves where it's like, if we lose,
do you just throw $50 on Miami money line plus 600?
fuck it.
Dude, I mean, no, dude.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so Steelers side of the ball here. We'll start on the home side. So Mason Rudolph. I mean, what do you feel about Rudolph? I wouldn't be playing Rudolph.
I wouldn't be starting him. But
That's a tough one.
yeah, he seemed like he's just kind of they're not really like when he played in the 1 or 2 games. I think it was 1 game, 2 games. Before he got concussed, it seemed like he was just doing a lot of like check downs, a lot of screens. He didn't really throw the ball deep at all. He wasn't really like a dangerous. He reminded me of like Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Before he had the crazy season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would not be trusting Mason Rudolph. The only thing that's upside is like they are playing the Dolphins, but I just can't see him just throwing for over 300 yards.
Yeah. The upside's not there. I mean, does he throw for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns? Yeah, it's there because it's Miami. Like you said, they're not very good, but. In a year of like the backup quarterbacks that have happened so far, he'd probably be my last ranked backup quarterback.
What?
Besides like a Matt Moore. I mean, maybe him and Kyle Allen's okay, but like I'm taking a Minshew over him.
Sure.
Who am I else? I'm taking a Ryan Tannehill over him. I'm taking. I mean, maybe
Matt Schaub.
Maybe not Matt Schaub. That's kind of a recent one, but like Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes or. Mason. This sounds so gross.
Yeah, honestly, the quarterback.
If you're in that scenario, kill yourself. No offense. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Daniel Jones or fucking
suicide note. Average bros told me to do it.
No, yeah, yeah. If you're in that situation, what the fuck?
It's
what
gross.
did you do?
Running back situation. I mean,
right.
James Conner's. I know he's banged up, but it looked like he's gonna play, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I honestly don't know.
I know him
injury report
and
off the top of
Jalen
my head.
Samuels are kind of banged up. I mean, you're over here talking about Benny Snell's playing, so.
Yeah, Jalen. It's just because Jalen Samuel's out, and it seems like a couple of games into the season, especially when Big Ben left, they were kind of doing a double running back set.
Yeah.
You've seen Jalen Samuels and James Conner getting kind of like almost the exact same stats in games. So that's why Benny Snell is like kind of a deeper ad. Just if Jalen Samuels isn't in, I could see them throwing Benny Snell in there, especially if it's James Conner, Benny Snell. We're up by a bunch. They're gonna fucking let Benny Snell just run it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Miami is one of the worst rushing teams in the NFL in defensive wise. So, if James Conner's out there, I think it's all trending that he's gonna play. I mean, James Conner's locked and loaded, probably a top 10 play. But then, like you said, you got guys like if it's either Jalen Samuels or Benny Snell. I think that backup running back does have some type of value because of the amount of running they're going to do.
They're just not.
Mine is 14. I mean, they're 14-point home favorite. So
I mean, when you have obviously it's not going on this weekend, but when you have Devlin Hodges as your quarterback, you're gonna fucking run the ball.
Yeah,
that's just what you're gonna do. I'm trying to pull up this injury report, but it's not working. But yeah, with tight end Vance, you've been kind of disappointed.
Yeah, the Vance dance has been
not anything what you want.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks. But you know what? I wasn't that excited about there's 0 game statuses on any of these players. Okay. That's really helpful. Let's see. We got dead air, dude. Dead air.
What about the receivers here? So you got Juju, and we're kind of like skeptical. I think a lot of people are skeptical with Juju without AB this
I'm
year.
praying.
Like, could he take over as that number one? But then now you lose Big Ben, and it's like, okay, now you don't have a Hall of Fame quarterback throwing you the football either. I mean, he's been so up and down. I know the couple games he has put up some numbers, it's been because he's had a long touchdown, 70-yard touchdown.
Right.
But if you take those long touchdowns away, he really hasn't done anything. And could it be because Mason Rudolph doesn't want to force the ball into him? He doesn't want to turn the ball
I just
over.
think the coverage is just on him a lot, and I think that also when like you said, I don't think it's just because Big Ben's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I just think, that's part of it. I think it's just because he threw the ball a lot. You know what I mean? So they're not going to throw the ball a lot when you have a backup quarterback that's not proven like Mason Rudolph or a backup like Devlin Hodges fucking playing, So I kind of wish we still had that Josh Dobbs backup quarterback. He was fucking actually pretty good.
I mean, one thing with Juju I could say here is
I hope he has a good game.
It's the name value of like you don't want to sit him, but Xavier Howard, the corner from the Dolphins, is supposed to be back this week, and he's maybe I'm being biased here, but he really is a good corner, and I'm almost worried that if he shadows Juju, does that limit his upside? Because, like I just said, obviously we've kind of seen Mason Rudolph not being willing to force the ball into Juju. So if it's tight coverage the whole game, tight coverage, does he look elsewhere to spread the ball around? Does he look like, okay, like is Juju open? Like, oh, he's not open. Like let me go to my second or my third read here.
As crazy as it sounds,
I am kind of nervous for Juju in this game.
I'm not. I wouldn't feel bad benching Juju. I think it was kind of crazy. I think Deontay Johnson probably has a better game than Juju.
Yeah. I'm actually on that side with you because I think Xavier Howard, like I said, I could be biased because I'm a Dolphins fan, but I think Xavier Howard kind of blankets Juju, and Mason Rudolph doesn't want to force it, and I think he doesn't need to force it either because maybe guys like Deontay Johnson, James Washington gets a couple catches, maybe Vance gets more involved, the running backs out of the backfield. I don't think he needs to force the ball to Juju in tight coverage when these other guys are going to be open because Xavier Howard is the best corner. He's the best player on defense for the Dolphins.
Yeah. So I think I think what we're saying is don't get stuck playing Juju, especially on this matchup. Don't feel bad about benching him. And if you bench him and he puts up a bunch of points, don't be upset about that. Honestly, just look at it as, okay, now I have trade capital. I'm going to please get rid of Juju. I'm getting rid of him as much as I can. I have him in like 2 or 3 leagues. Yeah. So I'm trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, but with that being said, then Deontay Johnson, sneaky play.
Yeah, I think Deontay Johnson's a sneaky play.
I like Deontay Johnson this week. I mean, we've seen already 2 touchdowns in the last couple games with Mason Rudolph. And like I said, if Xavier Howard's going to shadow Juju, which I believe that's going to be the case, you got Deontay Johnson against these other corners of the Dolphins. And honestly, I'm a Dolphin fan, and I can't even tell you who the other corners are for the Dolphins because that's how shitty they are. And they keep cutting corners and, like, throwing in like practice squad. Yeah, just trying to figure out like, hey, you suck. Like, all right, you're up next. Oh, you suck. Okay, you're up next. Like, it's pretty bad. So, yeah, I'm not mad at Deontay Johnson. I think that's actually a super sneaky play this week.
Yeah, I like it. That being said,
Steelers defense is probably my number 1 defense this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be
personally,
super horny.
Yeah, I'm super mucho horny for that defense.
Yeah, for sure. On Miami side, what do you want to say?
I mean, you got the Fitz magic on the other side. It's a minus 14-point game for the Steelers, so meaning the Dolphins should be trailing. Means there should be some Fitz magic in the air. And one thing I say this is I think he'll probably throw a couple picks, but I think you're obviously not starting him. It's kind of towards more like the receiver side. I think I do like Devontae Parker in this game. He's put up some solid numbers in the last couple weeks. I think he's got a touchdown in 2 or 3 straight games, or 3 of the 4 games, or something like that. He's actually been really solid, minus the game against the Patriots where Stephon Gilmore shadowed him. So in a game where they should be chasing for points, he is a former first-round draft pick. A big body guy. He's one of those guys where you kind of just throw it up to him and he goes out and he out-jumps the player, he out-muscles the player, and he gets the ball. So I'm not mad at Devontae Parker here. It's like a wide receiver 3. Even like a desperation flex kind of guy. He's definitely a guy I want on my bench at least. Just going forward. Good player to have.
Yeah.
Preston Williams is another name to keep an eye on just to see what happens here. He's also another guy, desperation kind of play, but if I'm picking one, Preston Williams or Devontae Parker, I'm still going Devontae Parker. He seems to be more of like the touchdown upside kind of guy here. Running back wise, there's been some trade rumors for Kenyon Drake. Does he get traded? If it's obviously not going to happen until probably after the Monday night game. I think the trade deadline is Tuesday, so this could be the last game that Drake plays with the Dolphins because there has been a lot of trade talks. With that being said, maybe go pick up like a guy like Mark Walton and just throw him on your bench. I'm not throwing him in my lineup, but if they trade Drake, Mark Walton has kind of been the guy who's been Drake, I guess, in a sense. Wait, who are we talking about again?
Who?
But anyways, so Mark Walton's kind of been the guy to take over at that spot for that one guy. I forget his name.
You'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
Drake?
Yeah, that guy.
Drake?
I got it shorter too now.
Drake?
Anyways, so yeah, Mark Walton be a guy. I just go pick him up and throw him on my bench because if Drake gets traded, it's the running back over there is Mark Walton and Kenyon Balaj, and we've kind of seen Kenyon Balaj is just not good. He just can't get it done. So I think Mark Walton would have some type of value definitely going forward. So pick him up, throw him on your bench because, if the news breaks on Tuesday, breaking news, Kenyon Drake's traded,
Drake?
yeah, that guy.
Drake?
Mark Walton's going to be a top priority in the waiver wire. Go pick him up now. If they don't trade Drake, whatever, you could just always drop Mark Walton. You know what I'm saying? But why not grab him now?
What if I just did it every time you said his name?
But just go grab him now. Grab Mark Walton now and hold him on your bench. And then if they do trade Drake, boom, now you have the starting running back for a team. Even though it's not a good team, but still a decent.
Yeah,
You
starting
want-
running back is not bad.
Yeah.
Best ability, availability.
Availability, yeah. That's
it.
the Messiah, a.k.a. Andre Navarro would say.
Yeah.
With that being said, Drake and Mark Walton, it's so gross. I mean, Drake has been just been like 9 to 10 points almost PPR wise at least. He's been like 10 points, give or take, every single week. He just hasn't found the end zone. So if he can fall in the end zone, he's going to put up 15, 16 points in a game, So I'm not mad at Drake if you're in a desperation pinch. You just need someone there. Obviously, he's getting a ton of catches out of the backfield. Even Mark Walton's getting more incorporated out of the backfield as well. So I'm not mad at Drake if you're in a pinch and I got bye weeks, I got injuries. I need a running back. I have Drake. Yeah, I'll throw him in as my second running back.
I like it.
Then there's no tight end. There's Miami's defense is non-existent.
The only good thing about playing in Miami is that you live in Miami.
For sure. And no taxes.
Yeah, no taxes also.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, is anything else you want to add to the podcast before we wrap this up?
Negative.
All right. This has been the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. Episode what? 34, baby. Oh, fuck. I just realized I forgot to set something up. It's going to be a bitch later. Anyways, thank you for listening. This has been the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 2, Episode 34. This has been Matchups Breakdown Part 2. Thank you for listening. I hope this really helps you out. I hope you set your lineups off of this podcast and you win this week. I fucking had a rough week this past week. I went 0-6 or 0-7. All my leagues really fucking sucked. But it's a new week, week 8. You're here. You're gonna win. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Do it again, win again and again and again. If you could give us a little support.
Subscribe. YouTube.
Subscribe on YouTube. That'd be awesome. Just look up Average Bros Fantasy Football. Pops right up. Just look for yellow and red. That's where we're at. Yeah. Also, give us a rate and review on the Apple Podcast app. That helps too. So, without further ado, we are out of here, baby.